Welcome to Mentor. I'm Marco Bertozzi.
And I'm Rachel Ford.
And we are the founders of the TheZoo.London Consultant Collective and Executive Search.
And our podcast is all about sharing the hard-earned wisdom from world leaders who have been there, seen it, done it, got the T-shirts, but they are here to guide you.
And you won't get those insights in any book.
No, you will not, but you can use them in everyday life.
Who have we got coming up, Rach?
We have got Judith Salison OBE. We only have
we must go back and
we
check
must go back. You don't
many...
have to have an OBE to be a guest on this.
Everyone's interested
but it helps.
in our viewing figures or listening figures, and we're like, no, just look
just
how
OBEs.
many OBEs,
just OBEs.
CBs.
Yeah, baronesses, everything. And you know what? I've been trying to get Judith on for a while, and she's the OG, and you'll find out why.
She's
and
an OG.
We did ask for her last piece of advice. So this is something she says at the very end of the pod. I said, what would you say to young Judith on that sales floor of ITV or Anglia? And she said, stand up for yourself. So that was a very good piece of advice.
I 100% agree with. I also, Anglia TV was my local TV station when I was growing up. So maybe she was working there while I was watching.
Well, you were at school.
I can't remember what I was watching in those days, but and I guess in a similar vein, but I also think that we were talking about mentors and mentorship, and she was just sort of saying, make sure you don't get a mentor that just tells you what you want to hear. You need to hear some
harsh
sometimes
truths.
Some harsh truths.
Some harsh truths, some proper feedback, and also easier said than done, but she said that if you wake up in the morning and you're not looking forward to going to your job, find another one. So easier said than done. I mean, it's we're not suggesting anybody walks out, but she just said, look, life is too short to be in a job that you hate. So I think sometimes
And Catherine Jacob has some views on that.
She did. She said, if you've got an uncomfortable pair of red heels on at the weekend, Marco,
take them off
and put a pair
what a relief it is.
Put a nice pair of brogues on or whatever.
Brogues.
I can't see me.
Brogues are not comfortable.
Trainers. Hey, Marco, when you think of a great mentor, what words come to your mind?
I think smart, definitely supportive, obviously wise and experienced for sure.
Yeah, I think the same really. And, someone knowledgeable who pushes your ideas beyond your first ideas.
That's why we chose Viral Tribe, because they've helped us on our podcasting journey.
Yeah, you could say they've been our podcasting mentors, couldn't you?
They
have been our ultimate support system, helping us with creative ideas, production. And with state-of-the-art studios like we're in today in the heart of Soho, London, they're not just brilliant at what they do, but they make the whole process seamless and stress-free.
And they work with some of the biggest creators, producers and brands, making everything from chart-topping shows to branded entertainment.
So if you're thinking about launching a video, an audio, a live podcast, make Viral Tribe your podcasting mentor.
Drop them a line at hello@viraltribe.co.uk, and if you quote mentor, they'll give you 20% off your first 3 bookings.
So what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Anyway, so let's get Judith in for this brilliant chat.
Today we have Judith Salison OBE.
Another.
We've had some very. We've had CB OBE.
We've had a
Baroness.
Yeah.
Baroness of Soho.
Yes,
no less.
I want that title. I love that one.
A pioneering figure in the UK advertising and media world, Judith began her career in television sales at a time when very few women worked in the industry. Early on, she demonstrated not just talent, but resilience and determination, navigating environments where she often had to prove herself in every room. In 1982, she co-founded Harrison Salison, an outdoor planning and buying company, taking a bold step into entrepreneurism at a moment when such risks were rare for women. The business thrived and was eventually sold to the Cara Group, marking a major milestone in her career. Following that, Judith moved into consulting and non-exec roles, bringing her expertise to a wider range of organisations. She also served as president of WACL, Women in Advertising and Communications London, championing the careers of other women in the industry and helping shape its leadership landscape. In recognition of her decades-long contribution, she was awarded an OBE in 2023 for services to advertising. Her career is a story of steady ambition, thoughtful leadership and commitment to creating opportunities for others along the way. Welcome.
Oh, Judith, how lovely was that?
Thank you.
Really
Is it
lovely.
nice to hear? Or
Well, I think the OBE was also for my longevity with NABS.
Yes.
Right,
I was
okay,
saying
yeah.
that to Marco earlier.
Yeah.
You were with NABS a long time.
Yes, and still am, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
that did come into it.
yeah, and I've known you through WACL, and I know it's taken me a while to convince you to come on this podcast, because I'm like, Judith, people would love to hear your story. You're like the OG. You know, like you were pioneering women, you started your own business. So I know that people are going to be really interested to hear your story. I think it's important that we get some of your wisdom that we can pass down to those people that are listening. So if you do want to kind of now follow with, we ask it every week, in your own words, your career in 60 seconds or so. How did you get into media, I suppose?
Well, right at the beginning, at the age of 18, I joined Anglia Television, which was in its early days, in Norwich, in Norfolk, where I hail from. So I had about 3 years working in the studios in a job that I knew every part of what was going on, because it was called the presentation department. And in those days, you previewed commercials, as well as previewing all the films and all the programs that were happening. So I had all of that background before I came into selling the media. And that was when I came to London.
Wow. And then did you move?
I
agency?
joined Anglia Television in London,
Right.
in the sales department.
And so then how did you then get into, did you go into a TV buying then, into an agency after that, or then did you go straight into outdoor?
No, I sold television. Then I moved to the formation of British Posters, which was a marketing company set up to sell outdoor
Right.
space, which had never happened before. And that was a conglomerate of companies. And from there, I was asked to go to Leo Burnett
Okay.
to set up the outdoor department.
Yeah.
In fact, local media.
I was going to say, what was outdoor those days? Just like 96 sheets, 48? I mean, I don't think.
Oh,
Big
no.
ones and
You're
small
trying to
ones.
get technical.
Yeah, getting technical now.
Don't ask too much, Rachel, because one of the jobs that I used to do was to train people in Prime Site, which is where dear Naren was,
Yes.
Naren Patel. I used to train his people on the history of outdoor, and I stopped when I used to say to people, well, this was before you were born.
Yeah.
And I stopped that. No,
Yeah.
it was, I mean, to put it into context, when I moved into outdoor, there were 100 poster contractors.
Wow.
Around
I suppose
the
any
country.
local person could put up a billboard.
Exactly, so it was
Yeah.
totally different.
Yeah. And so you obviously got a taste for outdoor and thought, sod this, I'm going to launch my own business. How did that come about?
That happened after, I suppose, having had more experience working at Leo Burnett for a few years, it was easier to see how clients and agencies needed help with their outdoor and promoting it, because
Yeah.
that's what the whole thing was about.
And how was the creative community about outdoor? Was it, because I imagine it was all about sort of TV and those for the creative
It
agents?
was, but there was a lot of outdoor business.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of there was a big brewery account. There was cigarettes were still allowed
Yeah,
in
yeah,
those
yeah.
days, and I think I remember a big breakthrough when somebody from the creative department came to see me and said, "I want to do something in tube cards."
Right.
I'm fed up with this, I want to do something in Tucson. And I thought, oh, good, that's
Yeah,
we're
someone's
getting
thinking
there.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God. And so, so Harrison, who's Harrison?
David Harrison I'd worked with him at Tyne Tees Television.
Right.
He was previously ATV, came to Tyne Tees, then he left. And I had been thinking about forming our own company with one or two other people.
Okay, so you had the itch.
So I had the itch, but then David came along and I'd worked with him before, so
Yeah.
that's how it worked. And then Annie Rickard joined us too.
Which
yeah.
became Posterscope. Oh,
But Annie was a founder member of Harrison Salison. Yeah,
And you sold then to, Dentsu, Cara.
yeah, to Cara.
So how many years after?
82 to 94.
Okay, so 12 years.
Mm.
And so what was going through your mind at that point then, that I want some money?
The scene was changing. It was one of those times when agencies, a lot of things were happening in agencies. It was up and down. And mergers were going on. And we'd worked with Cara for quite a long time. So that it was sort of, it happened.
Yeah, and we'll dig into that a bit later on, won't we? Because I think that'll be really interesting to hear around that story. And so then when you left there, what happened? Or when you sold, what happened?
Well, I set up an international area within our company, within Harrison Salison. So I'd started doing things abroad
Okay.
a bit, mainly in the airport area.
Yeah. So did you travel with that then?
So I travelled with that.
Oh, fun.
And I met people from other countries, and I then set up my own consultancy, which I was allowed to do within Harry Sally. We were called Harry Sally in those
Harry
days.
Sally.
Right, yeah, good to know.
Like it.
I had my own consultancy, so I was meeting people, overseas people.
Oh, I bet there's some stories
and
from
making
that,
contacts. Yeah.
Oh, we'll come into that. We'll come into that as well later. So we'll dive this.
So just you, I guess, became, at the time you were an authority in outdoor. So
Yeah.
I imagine people were, people were knocking on your door, especially if they knew you could consult as well. So that must have been, the exciting time. Now we do like to jump back and forth. I just want to go back briefly to the start, to the TV days, because I think part of the really interesting stuff is to hear the context of what life was like. So you were one of the few women in TV and TV sales and so on. I guess two questions: what was that like, and how did you find it? And two, I wonder whether that work you'd done before for Anglia, where you'd in the presentation department, whether that imbued you with a sort of certain knowledge that helped when you got to the sales side of things.
Well, it certainly helped knowing how television worked and how it all fitted together. But in fact, I always loved selling.
Right.
So I really enjoyed that, loved it.
And the environment was obviously very male environment. Did you have to?
Well, we were all sales assistants.
Yeah.
And we mainly desk jobs until we were allowed to go out and meet the media buyers.
Yeah.
And then as we became more experienced, we were allowed to, go out, meet them, and go to the pub as well.
Importantly.
Yeah, those were our formative days, weren't they, Mark?
Yeah,
In the TV
100%.
department of Zenith.
And last weekend, it's weird, isn't it, how you think about it? Last weekend I was visiting a friend in UCH hospital at bottom of Tottenham Court Road, and then I've been thinking about those were the Hobson Bates days. That was the Hobson
Did it
Bates
transport you back?
building, and it sort of brings it all back.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I often reflect now that I went to UCL, so obviously right there, and then one way or another, my whole career, even though I've moved jobs and different places, my whole career has really been Soho and surrounding area. And I keep, I've done the odd little thing here and there, but I always seem to come back.
Not bad. There's worse places in the world.
No, totally. I was just reflecting on the other day when I was just walking through some of the streets. I'm like, I have pounded these streets for so many years.
Exactly. And I'm going back to those days. What was the female-male split?
There were very few females on the agency side in the media departments.
But more on the sales side?
More on the sales side. Most of the sales assistants were girls.
Okay.
And I was in fact the second female to be made a sales executive in television.
And that was a good achievement at the time.
And
so when you'd go into, I suppose then the buyers, and I mean, I was 98 when I went into TV buying, and even at that time, I think I had a PR agency offer and the Zenith offer, and the PR, when I turned the PR agency down, she went, oh, it's going to be awful, it's just full of men, and they'll be lewd, and they'll be like, and I just thought I can handle my own. I think I'll quite enjoy it. But how did you learn to go into those situations and, I suppose, speak with authority? How did you, I suppose, get you the confidence to walk into rooms and think, I've got this?
You had to build it. You had to build the confidence with the people that you were selling to.
Yeah.
And I think the communications were, I mean, you always thought, oh, I'd really like to meet that voice at the end of the, the other end of the phone. I wonder what they're like. And you worked at Zenith, and Derek Southern had one of the beautiful voices in the business.
Did he have a voice for radio?
And then when you met him, he was nothing like the voice. So it was always, it was a friendly business.
Yeah, yeah.
And you needed in those days, you needed the two things. You needed the authority, the trust, and the camaraderie to be able to, keep. It was all on the phone. Pick up the phone. Hey, I've got this. Would you like? Are you interested? And then, as you became more senior, you would then be able to go and visit and sit with the media buyers and be able to talk through really what they were after, rather than just be at the end of the phone trying to sell this spot and that spot.
And I can hear when you said it yourself, and be good at your job. I think a lot of people had on this podcast is just be excellent at what you do, and then that gives you the confidence and then the authority to, to, as you say, to sell or to, I mean, we're all selling something, aren't we? So when you were actually allowed to visit, do you remember the first agency you were allowed to visit? Or do you remember do you remember your first media lunch?
I think it was pubs before we did lunch, and I looked after Macias Wynne-Williams.
Right.
So that was important, and I remember walking through there. Yeah, quite nervous.
They're quite impressive places, weren't they?
Yeah,
sort of.
And Leah Burnett. I remember meeting Simon Broadbent for the first time. These people were idols almost.
And Derek Southern was running Europe, I think, in the end when I started in 95, we both were at Zenith. I think he was running Europe. I actually had I asked in my first 6 months if I could move to Italy and work in their Italian office, which was, everyone's like, and my boss at the time, I said to Tracy, I said, I'm thinking I'd like to work in the Milan office. She's like, you've only been there 5 minutes ago. So obviously I ignored that, and I wrote a letter or a memo, whatever it was, straight to Derek Southern saying I'd like to work in the Milan office. And then it all kicked off because they're like, how come you've just gone straight to... Anyway, I went for a chat with him, and I'll never forget, I walked into his office, I sat, and the chair sort of thing holding out the chair just collapsed. So I literally sat there and just dropped down like that. And I'm like, this is not
You're not going to Milan.
But
Thank goodness you didn't, because you might not be sat here
And
now.
Leo Burnett was... Has it always... Because in those days, it was
I'm talking about Simon Broadbent at Leo Burnett.
Yes,
Yeah,
Simon Broadbent. But Leo Burnett's was... I always remember going there and it had a very long corridor to get down to reception, and I always found it quite imposing. But they might have moved since then. But there's scary moments, I think, when you walk in some of these places.
There are.
Burnett's had the lady whose name escapes me, but the receptionist that knew every client's voice when they phoned. She could identify them.
There was a similar lady called Suka at Zenith. That's a skill.
She knew everyone.
That is a skill.
Everyone.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I think, so going through that period of time, was there a moment when you were like, you just thought, I've got this now. I've graduated from the I'm going to be careful what I say, and did there come a moment when that sort of confidence just came in?
It was scary, though. Scary when I moved to an agency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very different environment.
That was very different. It was scary. And in I think it was the 6-month review that I had with Mike Yershin. He said it's taken you 6 months to be able to talk back to an account exec.
And that was the confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it different did you feel like you had got to that point on the sales side and then you sort of started again when you went into agency, or just a different environment?
It was a different environment. It was a big step, for me, but things had started to go a bit wonky at British Posters. We'd been to the Monopolies Commission twice.
Right.
So things had gone a little bit, they were a bit shaky.
So you thought the time is now. So you kind of, you forced yourself to do it. And
well, I didn't force, because I was offered the job.
Well, yeah.
I've never had a CV.
Well, I know I'll tell you what, a lot of people listening would really love to.
Never had a CV.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of word of mouth.
Starting or growing your own business can be intimidating and lonely at times. Your to-do list may feel endless with new tasks, and lists can easily begin to overrun your life. So finding the right tool that not only helps you out, but simplifies everything as a built-in business partner can be a game changer. For millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. From household names like Gymshark, Rare Beauty, and Heinz, to brands just getting started. Shopify has hundreds of ready-to-use templates that can help you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand's style. And you can tackle all the important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. No need to save multiple websites or try to figure out what platform is hosting the tool that you need. And if people haven't heard about your brand, you can get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you, with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns to reach customers wherever they're scrolling or strolling. Start your business today with the industry's best business partner, Shopify, and start hearing. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. That's shopify.com/realm.
Yes,
name check.
I did. I was fortunate. He originally was a boss, but then he became long-term, very long-term partner.
And with that was Harrison, was it?
No.
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 And what advice? What turned him from, I suppose, boss to unofficial mentor?
because he criticised me for being staying too long in jobs, and criticised me for a couple of the people that I thought I was going to go into business with.
Right. Harsh realities is what
yeah.
he would give you. You're a firm believer in a harsh fastback. You like fastback. He calls that
Speedback.
That's it. Speedback.
Yeah. Yeah, I was accused of nesting. That's what he called it.
Oh, right.
When I stayed too long. Yeah. So I did have a mentor. I was very fortunate in having a mentor like that.
Yeah, and had you not listened to their advice, how do you think that would have? Was it? So it was always good advice, was it? Because did you ever not listen to his advice?
Occasionally, yes.
Yeah. And would he listen
But
to your
mostly.
advice?
Yes.
I mean, that's what we try and do, don't we?
Oh, we
I give
listen
you
to each other all the time. All the
We'll listen
time.
to each other. Doesn't mean we actually.
I ignore it.
Yeah. Because I became a non-exec on his business.
Oh.
In his business. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess would it have changed? Would if not necessarily you weren't listening to it, maybe you didn't have him as a mentor, would it have changed the direction of your career, do you think? Was it sort of useful at pivotal moments like that?
Yeah.
And have you had any more, like, I suppose, more informal ones? Because actually, Kathleen Saxon talked about, she often says to people, "Oh, can we have a pizza and a glass of wine?" And you know, an hour of their time. And I suppose she's kind of built that over time. It seems that mentors aren't necessarily official, but often people have a number of unofficial mentors. And I presume through how long have you been in Wackle? Wackle must have been, you must have.
It's coming up to 50 years.
Is it? Oh, wow. I did say you were the OG, didn't I?
Yeah.
There must be people in Wackle that over the years have been unofficial mentors to you.
Yes, my very close friends.
Mm.
Yeah.
And would you get a different type of advice? Would you get what's the severe truth, or would you get a bit more nurturing support?
More support. Yes.
I guess you're doing a lot of mentoring anyway, one way or another.
Yes.
Advising, helping people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
What advice do you give to people when they've come to you?
It's the same as I've said for myself. If you don't like getting up in the morning to go to do your job, don't do it.
Yeah. Move.
Change it, yeah.
Yeah.
I've always said that.
Yeah. And do you think too many people are? Well, it's scary, isn't it? The uncertainty of the world right now that's easier said than done, isn't it?
I think it is today, but it's interesting. I mean, one sales director went off to be a teacher. She was thrilled. Changed her life. I just think life's too short to hate doing the job that you do.
And you spend so much time doing it. You know, that's the thing. Yeah. I think Catherine Jacob was saying it's not, you know, a lot of times people think it's that, like, if they're not enjoying a job or they're not enjoying a boss or they're not, you know, they're always, the first thought is it's me. And she was saying, you know, it's probably not you, it's probably them or the company. Therefore, take yourself out of it. Not in a, obviously, I think it's probably worth caveating, these aren't situations where you're being ill-treated.
No.
You know, therefore leaving is not the answer in the sense of we have to fix those situations. But just in a general,
from a career.
Yeah, you've landed in a job that didn't turn out to be as interesting.
She actually akined it to like a pair of ski boots. If you've got an uncomfortable pair of ski boots.
Well, she said high heels,
well,
but
she did.
I had to be a bit more inclusive.
Yeah, so we
talk about ski
Marco wears his red high heels at the weekend, so we don't do that in work, do we, Marco? But yeah, it's like if you, take it, move on. But I still would, again, though, say I think it's very, very hard in today's climate. So I would probably say try and fix if you can first. Like, don't run away. Another thing, like, don't run away from your problems because that might just come somewhere else. I would always try and fix first, and then, but your ultimate power is you can walk. And I think, that is sage advice.
So you've sales experience, agency experience. What was the impetus for the starting a business? Because that was quite a big step, I think, back then. How did you get to that?
It seemed the right moment for the outdoor business because, it's all part of the outdoor history, really, that people used to have these permanent poster campaigns. And then, cigarettes got banned. And the medium became much more sophisticated and was used a lot more. I mean, the percentage of outdoor, of total media rose. And we felt that we had a lot to offer the agency world because it was difficult. People didn't have an outdoor buyer within their agencies. And we were keen. We'd been selling the medium, so why didn't we do both? Sell the medium and put it together on behalf of the agencies.
It's another one that reminds me of Kathleen Saxton. She said, is there a gap in the market? So you saw a gap in the market, but then crucially, is there a market in the gap? And so did you see that opportunity as well, that, look, there is a gap, but it's something needed and this could be really successful?
The gap was really that the established outdoor specialists were old-fashioned.
Right. And there's an opportunity.
Yeah.
And how did you then, I suppose, modernise that?
By dreaming up or coming up with ways of making the medium more attractive, coming up with innovative ways of putting campaigns together, and the fact that I'd been in the media business a long time. I knew lots of people. People trusted me, fortunately, and were happy to do business.
Yeah. And I suppose as you were building that, and was it just the two of you at the time?
No.
No, you said Annie Rickard, didn't you?
Yes.
It was your two, as they say. It was this Harrison and Salison above the door, as it were. So, and then Annie was in there. Anybody else in there?
Yes, there was another chap called Alan.
Right.
Schofield.
Yeah. And as you were kind of building it, we have this point all the time, like we're actually not just a startup anymore. I'm going to call us, we're a scale up now. We're always innovating, always moving forward. But we also still go, shit, like if we fail, this is very public because our industry is quite small and Marco and I are bloody here, there and everywhere. It's like, we'd have massive egg on our face. Fortunately, we really believe in our business and in each other. So but it doesn't stop you having those demons. Was there a point as you were building the business that you thought, shit, if this fails, we're going to have egg on our face? Or you're just so confident you thought this is destined to be a huge success?
I have to say, when I look back on it, and I have done look back on it, it was bloody hard work.
Yeah, we're going to test with that as well. Yeah.
And, bless him, David Harrison had no idea that I was cleaning the loos and taking the tea towels home and
so everything ran. It's functional. It had to function.
It was real hard work.
Yeah, and so when did you get through that, I suppose, kind of early stage to thinking, right, I don't need to clean the loos or take the tea towels home anymore? What year do I have to stop taking the tea towels home?
I mean, I told you not to.
How long into the business do you think that was? Can you recall?
Oh, gosh. I think when we moved, our Oxford Street office was where the Elizabeth line is now. All our offices have been pulled down.
It's what, Dean Street, that one?
The corner of Dean Street.
Yeah. Wow.
But then we bought a building in Marylebone Lane.
Oh, wow. Now, I wish we could buy a building.
And
that's a good move.
That was nice that we were established. And biggest problem was I lived around the corner in Marylebone High Street, and it was just too close.
Yeah. So
you couldn't really get away from
Couldn't
work.
get away.
Yeah.
But I imagine when you launched, because just listening to you, and especially in the light of this was still the 100 private companies and so on, I imagine when you launched that probably a lot of people thought, oh, that makes sense. Like, why hasn't anyone done that sooner? Or do you know what I mean? Was that fair?
Well, postage specialists existed, but most of them were entrenched in the old, it was called TC campaigns.
Right.
You know, campaigns that ran 12 months of the year.
And they just swapped in and out the ads. Yeah.
No, they
creatives.
didn't.
Just
They
left
were-
the ads up there.
They were it was a Guinness,
Oh, right.
all the beer companies, all the cigarette companies. They all had these permanent holdings.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm going back to really the whole basis of British Posters was trying to get what wasn't then in those days, what wasn't part of a permanent campaign was available for the market.
Right.
And then gradually those permanent campaigns all stopped,
Because they couldn't advertise anywhere like
and it
cigarettes.
opened up the market for
But
other
you know what's
advertisers.
interesting? There's so many parallels with, even we've just been talking to Matt Britton from Google, and at the start of Google, when I was buying digital, it was very early, like 2001, when it really just started. We used to negotiate on behalf of, let's say, I don't know, Lloyd's. We used to buy every single keyword associated with insurance, for example, and we'd bid for the whole year, every single word.
Yeah.
And we'd do one deal, which would be a few million quid back then. And Google, in effect, went through the same process. We were like, well, hold on a minute, why are we selling every word for a whole year? Why don't we get everyone to bid on every word every second, kind of thing? And it's sort of, there's some parallels with that, where probably there's more money to be made as well if you opened it up rather than having 12-month anchor ships. Yeah, it's interesting to see the parallels.
Right. The majority of Google's business is SMEs, isn't it? So, that just opened it up to all those smaller companies versus the monopoly of those sites. And when you sold the business, what did that? Well, so when you sold the business, but then you went into the airport, is that right? Or did you only sell part of the business to Cara? Or did
No,
you?
we sold the whole business to Cara. Yeah.
So how did that? So, because that had been a big part of your life for 12 years.
Yeah.
You lived around the corner from the office that time. So when you actually sold, was it relief? Was it joy? Was it a sense of loss? How did that feel?
Well, we had to do I think a 2-year earn-out.
Right.
So you had to carry on working at the same strength.
Yeah.
And
Was it a reasonable sort of request for the earn-out? Sometimes there's a lot of complaints around.
no, it was okay.
It was fair. Yeah.
They weren't interested in the building. Cara didn't want to buy our building in Bentinck Mews. So we moved then to North Wharf Road.
Oh, yeah, that's the stomping ground. Our stomping ground, wasn't it?
Of the name.
Next to Zenith.
Yeah, exactly. When did you sell the building in Marylebone?
Fairly soon.
After you sold?
Yeah, because they didn't want the building, so
Pity you couldn't have held on to that. Wow.
I know.
Imagine
It's
what
the
that-
most beautiful art gallery now.
Oh, is it? Do you go back?
well, that's good.
Do you ever
Yeah,
go
I've
back?
been in. When it turned to the art gallery, because it was being renovated for ages, and when it opened, I went in
Really?
and toured the whole building. Yes, it's an open gallery.
Were you tempted to take home the tea towels? You won't go into the loos. Wow, I mean, that is, I'm, that's what, to have known that you started a company and bought that building. Not many people can walk around London saying that, can they? Wow,
well,
amazing.
today it's different.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's so far what we've heard is all very positive and good. We always ask the question of, was there ever a moment where we call it the fuck up, but whatever language you want to use, that sort of not in the stomach moment when something didn't go
Very much
really
so.
effed up here.
Yeah, very much so. One of the Cara directors who came onto our board, it was then it was David Reich and Ray Kelly. And the moment came when Ray Kelly said, I'm trying to think how old I was. I think I was 52. Was I 50? Anyway, told me that I was too old to visit
52?
media directors. This was about 2 years after we'd sold. Yeah, you're too old to sit with media directors. And that was when I moved into started the international business.
Wow. And so what?
How did that make you feel?
Yeah.
It made me feel that at some point, if somebody is able to say that to you, they will get their own comeuppance.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a karma believer. Did he get it?
Yes, he did.
Say that, actually.
He
Did.
I think that was a leading statement.
Oh, right, okay. You see, I don't know that story, so maybe
But-
want to look up.
But age comes for everyone. Like, that's the thing about it, right? It doesn't matter who you are, what you're doing.
And the problem is, like, we've got to work. I mean, I don't know when we're going to give up work. Work doesn't finish at even 65 anymore, does it?
50. I was about 52, 53. Yeah.
But I can, it's... We're all meant to have modernised, but in the all-in census that they do every year, the over 50s, I get this right, the over 50s were the second most discriminated against group in advertising of all characteristics.
It's like it's like the last ism, isn't it? Ageism. It's not really spoken about that much. That's why we are championing.
But it's very
seeing as how we
intersectional.
are.
It is intersectional. It gets to everyone. So
yeah, you're right. You are right.
So how did you respond to that? What was your...
Well, I was on a holiday in the Caribbean on a boat that was really a wreck. Anyway, it was a small boat, and we were put on different islands. And I sat on a beach in one of the islands and said to myself, they don't need you and you don't need them anymore.
And was that a bit of an epiphany?
Yep.
Yeah. I love that. Sat on a beach in the Caribbean.
Good place to come
Yeah,
to
not
that
bad
conclusion.
not bad to have an epiphany.
Yeah,
there,
this
is
boat
it?
didn't even have a proper gangplank.
What did you have to do? Jump off?
It was a fabulous holiday, but yes, I mean, vivid.
Yeah, isn't it? So it takes you back.
So was that the end of... Is that when you started to exit? Or
Well, that's
Yes.
the international bit, was it?
Yeah, no, that was when I just exited in 94.
Wow. And so, changing now to the impact you've had outside of work, because clearly, such a strong career. You said 50 years nearly in Wackle. Was there a moment that you suddenly thought, right, I've got a responsibility? I was, one of the first women in a TV sales department. I was a pioneering outdoor planning and buying by setting up my own company. Was there a moment you thought, how do I pull up others? Like, how do I help and actively support women? And clearly that's our mission at Wackle, to drive 50% female CEOs. Obviously it had a different mission at the time. So just tell us a bit about what was it like when you joined Wackle, and was that a calling, or did it just happen?
I was turned down the first time.
I think all the best are, I reckon.
Being
like
told that I was
test.
too young, but it wasn't that at all. It was because somebody on the committee, and it was a long
Yeah, subjective, let's say.
And as soon as I joined, I got involved, helping on a charity thing.
Yeah, I think it's the only way with like just you get out what you put in, don't you?
Yeah, and we were only 50 members.
Yeah, 50. Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How many are there today?
Nearly 200.
Yeah, but fully active members. And the thing is, we're doing well in our mission. So there's a lot more senior women today than there were then. And what type of endeavours were you doing? So was it really more of a, because our pillars of Wackle are support, inspire, and campaign. I'm thinking, and I'm not sure, but is maybe much more around support when you joined. And what did that support look like?
You could talk to anybody about any of your problems.
Yeah.
You knew it wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Certainly, in my early Harry Sally days, it was really helpful having people that you could talk to and be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you remember any campaign? Because I mean, look, the suffragettes were 50 years before. We us women know how to campaign and burn our bras. Can you remember any campaigning efforts at the time, or any legislation or policy? Was there anything like that Wackle helped affect?
Didn't really.
It's just come a bit later.
Yes, that really was later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we did have high-powered speakers in those days.
Can you remember any of them? I mean, I'm even remembering we've had.
We had politicians.
Yeah, David. I think I've had in my time. I think I've been 11 years, 12 years at Wackle. We've had David Cameron.
Gordon Brown. We had.
Yeah. Joanna Lumley. She's a national treasure, isn't she? No, we've had amazing Tom Daly. I mean, listen, we could have a list of all the Wackle. It's always Chatham House rules. So we.
How have you seen it? What would you say are the biggest changes over the 50 years you've been in it?
The huge expansion. And some of it not for the better, but I have to say that the cocktail party we had last week, I thought the atmosphere was fantastic.
It's real joy, wasn't it?
And I felt some of the old feeling back.
Yeah.
I was really pleased to see that.
Yeah, it was.
And you could feel it, and that was good, because I'd felt that we'd become a bit impersonal.
And you know what, I think COVID is a bit to blame for that.
Oh, of course it was.
You know, because you're so used to meeting, any groups of people, so used to meeting in real life, then you all have to all go virtual. And then I still think, we're still rebuilding back, society is still building back. So I think these does take time, but I agree. The drinks we had the other week, and then were you at the Jonathan Bailey dinner? Oh, so Marco, because we do let men in Wackle. We love men. We need allies. We need male allies. And the Jonathan Bailey dinner as well.
I did feel like I came second to Jonathan Bailey.
Well, come on. I'm so sorry.
That night.
Well, I think we all know why, don't we, listeners and viewers? But anyway, shall we move on to our next question?
Yeah, let's move on. So, but I think, sticking with the theme of female leadership, like when you look at the industry today, how do you feel about it? What do you feel like we've made the good progress, or what's your view?
Quite honestly, my view is that I'd hate to be in the industry today.
Yeah. For what reason?
I really would. I think it's incredibly hard. I just don't. I don't think the relationships get. Then they're just not made.
Not the same value. I'm not sure
the value. The clients aren't. They just. It's all. Are we going to move on to the next one? There's no.
The picture.
Building of relationships and I'd hate it today.
Yeah, maybe the time people just feel in a constant impatience of everything's what's next. So there isn't the time to sit back. I mean, look, we laugh about, we don't laugh actually, but we talk about going for those pub lunches, or I still remember my first media lunch. It was a Christmas time with Telstar Records, and I remember singing around the table and thought, I've arrived. I can do this. But they were our clients, and that's when you created, and it doesn't have to be over alcohol or food, but taking some time out to nourish and build those relationships, because it pays dividends on both sides, because it's partnership versus suppliers, and I think most people would love that. I just think I feel people are incredibly time poor.
I think when we start, I remember one of the slides we had at Zenith in the late 90s was the pride with which we'd say how long we'd had our clients, you know, average longevity of X years or Y, you know, that feels like that's, you know, very much a thing of the past now. And it's almost like the life is about pitching. It's not like, oh, a client's pitched. It's like, if you're going to work in an agency now, it's just about pitching, you know, for a group of people. There's plenty of people that just have to get on with the work, but for that leadership team and the growth team, that's part of life now. And I guess it's just, it's a different way of looking at the world. You look at the world in 2-3 year chunks instead of trying to get 10 out of it. And if you get 10 on the odd one, then that's probably a win.
But I think it's reflective of the pressure that chief marketing officers are under for that constant transformation, constant drive of efficiencies. Actually, it's really interesting. Rory Sutherland, who sat in that chair, Judith, he talked about he would really love companies to have like the board, the operational board, and the what you would call really the efficiency board, because it's all around the costs, but then also running parallel to have a customer board, basically custodians of the customers. Because actually that's where the opportunity and the growth comes from. And I think that's where if we could get a little bit more balance, because I think everybody would much rather have the world that you're describing. It's just that there's pressures. Now, we are really sadly closing to the end. We've only got a few more minutes really, but I definitely wanted to touch on your OBE, because you received that in 23. You obviously said that NABS, and you're still a NABS trustee. Do you want to just? I mean, it'd be great just to have a little few words. I mean, I'm on the Stranger Than Summer board committee to raise funds for NABS. We all in our industry love and support NABS. It's an overly used service and underfunded, so we're obviously trying to raise funds all the time. Do you want to talk a bit about why you think NABS is the reason that you got the OBE and what you've done in NABS?
I offered to join NABS on what was then, they had support groups. Yeah. And it was the year after I'd been dinner secretary for WACO. Yeah. And I said, for the time that took, I'll give that to NABS. So I sat on the support groups in those days that went on for many, many, many years, that no money was given out to anybody until it was discussed within a support group. Right, so the support team at NABS, they didn't have the authority to give grants to people who'd applied. And it's financial support that can. And that went on for until about, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. When the teams became much more senior and so on. So that has changed. But we're incredibly fortunate in our industry to have a charity like NABS, because so many people say, advertising, but what do they need a charity for? But having been involved for all those years, the change is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable, in that now we spend more money on therapies than we do on giving grants to people. That part of it has diminished. And I just think it's incredibly sad that we have so many people, but it's everywhere, it's not just in our industry, that need therapy of some sort.
Yeah, but as you say, thank goodness that we're lucky that we do have that. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody listening and watching it, donate. You can be on the Yay list. Yeah. You can donate to NABS and be on the Yay list. Yeah. So, yeah, more money to NABS, because, every year they seem to have more and more phone calls of people needing their support. So, no, incredible, and you very much deserve that.
We do have a problem with fundraising, and we do have a problem with people that have sort of left the industry. The age thing comes in back. We come back into the age thing, and they lose contact. And these are all people that have worked and lived in the industry for all most of their working life. Yeah. Personally, my view is they should be giving back.
Yeah.
Well,
Doesn't have to be big amounts, but they should be giving back to
Yeah.
the industry.
If you're listening,
Yeah.
make sure to contribute.
Yeah.
And a very important question, of course, is how did the OBE arrive on your doorstep? I imagine it was a very nice envelope. And,
Well, as I'm sure you've heard from probably Kerry is the latest one, that they write to you and ask you to accept it. Do you want to accept it? Because some people
first step,
don't. And then they write back to you and they tell you you've got to keep it a secret until it's announced either on the King's birthday or New Year.
Who did you take to book, pal?
My 3 French nephews.
Oh,
that's
they
lovely.
must have loved that.
It was fantastic.
Oh, my gosh, I
what a
bet they
day!
did.
What a day!
Fantastic.
Well, listen, I'm going to have one final, if you don't mind, just one final question, because I think it's fascinating. Because obviously, Wackle 50 years, probably in the industry. Let's not even say how long you've been in the industry. But Eva, I'm going to just take you all the way back now to little Judith, when you were in the production department of Anglia.
Presentation department.
Department of Anglia TV. If you were to go back to her today, what advice would you give her?
Always stand up for yourself.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wise words. Yeah, I think that's a good thing to end on. Marco?
I've lived by that. It sometimes gets you into trouble, but I still advocate for it.
Yeah. If you can't stand up for yourself, who can? Maybe that. Brilliant. Well, listen, Judith, I knew that was going to be lovely. I hope this is the beginning of your first podcast. I don't think it's going to be the last. You could become a TikTok sensation.
Well, it's an awful lot of years to cover, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But listen, thank you, Judith. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sadly, that's all we've got time for.
What a
folks.
lovely episode that was.
What a lovely episode.
Really
Very
enjoyed
gentle,
that.
actually.
Yeah,
gentle.
very much.
But if you did enjoy this conversation, please do forward it with someone who's on their own leadership journey. Do all those things you have to do. Follow, subscribe, leave a comment, please. Apparently, it's really important, and we'd appreciate just that 10 seconds of your time to do that for us, please.
And importantly, we have a business. If you need some senior wisdom in your business, whether that's consulting or executive search, please do get in touch with us at TheZoo.London.
And we'd love to hear about your mentors, your stories, so please do drop us a line on our socials, all in the podcast description.
Mentor is a Viral Tribe production, and please do join us again next time for more pearls of wisdom from Mentor.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you.